I know what kind of beehive I'm poking right now, and I just don't care. I paid $51 for this used pair of Grado SR60s, and part of me wishes I hadn't. In this video, I'll explain why they made me feel the way they did. That way, if you're interested in purchasing a pair, you can make your own educated decision with the information I provide. Welcome back to Audio Architects. I'm Mike, and today it's a bit of a different type of review. I normally don't do headphones, which I'm working on changing that. But for now, I ended up buying these Grado SR60s online, and I might have just regretted it. I listened to all the hype. There are forums after forums and review after review with people just collapsing over these things. The only reason I picked them up at all was because I'm working on a video on my other channel, Dreamin' Digital, on tech from the 2000s and whether that tech is still relevant and functional in today's standards. So of course, I wanted a pair of headphones to show off. I was really rooting for these things. They don't have the best build. They're plasticky and flimsy, far from being the most comfortable, and no detachable cable. They come with this really fat cord that's honestly a bit cumbersome. On the top, they do have a really nice leather vinyl looking material for the headband, and the foam ear cushions, they're called the comfy pads, and they're just meh, and they do get a little warm after a while as well. They look and feel like an oversized version of what we used to get back in the 80s when you bought a Walkman. The outer ear cup has a badass retro design. It looks like something that came from the 70s. I very much like the design on the outer cup. It's different. Not many companies have gone this route, and I feel like this style, this retro look, works in its favor. It is an open back design which allows air and sound to pass through and hopes to achieve a more natural soundstage. However, this does make them more of an at-home experience because sound and noise pollution can travel through this design, so taking them out into the wild may not be the best idea. I think one of the biggest draws here is their efficiency. The SR60 models have a high sensitivity of around 99 to 100 decibels. That means they get loud even from lower power devices like iPods, DAPs, phones, laptops, whatever you want to use. Chances are it provides enough power. They're minimalist and straightforward. On paper, they look pretty good overall. The look far outweighs the feel, and they are very versatile because of the efficiency and impedance working so well with virtually any source. Here's something very interesting about these cans. They can be modded, which I think is really cool. Anything that is made mass market that can be easily modded to improve the experience is a huge plus in my book. I'm totally going to butcher this. Nick Zag is a place online where this guy sells custom ear pads and headbands. This is cool because it gives us a bit more creative control and allows us to improve upon Grado's original design. These things have a strange sound signature. I just can't shake it. It was immediately apparent that 1.5 to 3 kilohertz range is pushed forward in a way that borders on aggressive. I'll be blunt here. I'm not particularly fond of speakers or headphones that demand EQ adjustments just to render them acceptable. It's clear that Grado doesn't tune to any widely recognized target curve. Rather, they pursue their own individual sonic signature. These are the type of headphones you're either going to embrace, get used to, or ultimately part ways with. I can't speak for the entirety of the Grado lineup. This is, after all, my first encounter with their distinctive house sound. So my impressions are limited to this specific model. I genuinely wanted to enjoy these, I really did. I read so many good reviews and their look is just undeniably retro, which I really love. So when it came to first impression time, I was a little taken aback. Let's talk about the strengths. The soundstage was nicer than anticipated. They offer a very unique sound character. I'd say they sound nice at low to moderate volumes. Guitars and vocals do have liveliness, as has been advertised all over the internet, and there's an airy openness rarely found in headphones priced under $100. The clarity is really remarkable, super precise, with outstanding detail retrieval for this tier of headphone. However, the presentation is decidedly bright, at times almost uncomfortably bright. The mid-range is very forward, which can become fatiguing during longer listening sessions. Also, there is a conspicuous lack of deep bass extension, which causes a problem problem if you like bassier type of music. They've sort of pigeonholed themselves into a specific style and genre. If these headphones had exhibited a more aggressive low end and dialed back the mid-range and treble presence, we'd honestly be having an entirely different conversation. I personally want a pair of headphones that I can comfortably crank up the volume without my ears bleeding, which I feel isn't too much to ask for, right? I think I'd be okay to assume that a good chunk of Grado fans could potentially be a bit older, where hearing damage and time has likely taken away their sensitivity to higher frequencies. That could explain why these are as popular as they are. I don't know how people can listen to these for more than, a couple hours without feeling fatigued, tired. At low to medium volumes, they are okay. I personally didn't thoroughly enjoy my experience. However, I can see how some people may like this type of sound. That's the thing about audio. I can shit on these all day long, and the next guy will fight me tooth and nail because sound is and will always be a subjective experience. Would I buy these again? No, God no. I will probably end up selling these after I make that other video. So if you're interested in my opinion, I cannot in good conscience recommend these to you if you're looking for an all-around headphone. They just aren't what I would describe as a complete experience. They aren't that comfortable, and they just honestly don't sound that good. However, I haven't modded them, and by modding the ear pads, this could very well change the sound a bit, and by modding the headband, it could make it a bit more comfortable. However, wouldn't it make more sense to just buy a pair of headphones that are already comfortable to begin with and that sound just the way you like your music to sound? What do I know? Thank you for joining me today. I know this was kind of a weird review, but I felt like it had to be done. If you did enjoy the video and I just saved you $50 or more, I encourage you to subscribe to the channel and listen to music with the like button.
You like Huey Lewis on the news? Their early work was a little too new wave for my taste. But when sports came out in '83, I think they really came into their own.
Don't forget to ring the bell to get notified every time a new video is born. I'll see you on the next one, friends. Take care.